This is a presentation of WLRN Public Television. Art Street is brought to you in part by Eldorado Furniture. It's like 15 showrooms from around the world under one roof. Eldorado, a different kind of furniture store.
Coming up on Art Street, police officer and mystery writer James Bourne with a look at his latest thriller. Dan Hudak with his take on new and worthwhile films. We're on location to see how the log cabin nursery nurtures both people and plants. And an artist shares her compelling story of surviving the Holocaust through her rag dolls. All this and more on Art Street.
We've had some of the most talented mystery writers on Art Street over the last 4 years, but tonight is a first for us. James O'Bourne is a special agent with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement turned novelist. His new and third book is entitled Escape Clause. Congratulations on your third book. I spoke with you a few months ago, and you said, let's hold, I'll come on your show, but I want to come on when my new book is published, and all of a sudden the months have gone by. So what does it feel like to be getting the really, I have to say, the rave reviews and the attention that you're getting so quickly?
It's great, and I don't know what the difference is between last year and this year, because I really didn't do much different, but this book does seem to have captured a little more attention.
So, I mean, did something happen along the way? I guess but my thought was, does it take a certain amount of time for a writer, any kind of writer, but especially maybe a mystery writer, to get respect and to get the word out there that they are really writing some really good thrillers?
Again, I'm fairly new to it, but that's what I'm told, is it takes a few years that people start to know, and they know that you're going to write another book. You just don't write 1 or 2 books and then stop and they don't hear from you again. So I'm on a fairly long contract with Putnam, so I know that every year I'm going to have a book coming out.
But did you know that when you wrote your first novel?
No, I had no idea.
Did you think this might be, one-shot deal, I've got one thought and one idea to write a book, or did you have a feeling there were going to be more?
I had more ideas. I just didn't realize that Putnam right off the bat was going to buy a 2-book deal.
Well, Jim, I mean, I would like to say right here that I had read, it didn't happen so quickly for you, right? I mean, you didn't just start writing 5 years ago. I mean, 40 rejections.
Oh,
right?
At least,
something like that, at least?
Those are from literary agents.
Okay.
And then once on the first published book, Walking Money, actually, once someone read that, they represented me immediately on that one. It was on previous books that are still unpublished.
So you had some other books that weren't quite ready. So what was it, as a writer, that kept you going?
It's hard to say, and I get that every day. People ask the same 2 or 3 questions, and that's one of them is, why did you keep doing it? The only reason to become a writer, the only reason to try and get published is that you're compelled to write every day. Whether you're paid for it or not, if you're not compelled, it's going to show up on the page, and there's really no reason for you, if it's a hobby, it's a hobby.
You mean, frankly, or if you're trying to force it, if you get up in the morning, yeah, but I mean, you're a full-time cop, so it's not like every day, I would assume, that you've got all day to sit there. I mean, there are writers like that. They're full-time writers. I mean, you get up every day, you're still working, right? I
am, but it's not you don't have to be compelled to write all day, just every day. And I always make sure that I have an hour where I can work on something. Now, some days more, and on the weekends, obviously now under contract and under pressure, pretty much my social life is gone, and I work full-time on the weekends. But every day I have some ideas. People say things to me during the day. I see things. I think, ooh, that might work down the road.
How much of your experiences in law enforcement are in this current book, in Escape Clause, which is actually, it's the same characters that are in previous books?
Some of the same characters carry through. Each of the books stand on their own. This one, in I think '94, whenever the big escape from Glades Prison, in real life, I was involved in the hunt for the guys that escaped and in the probe of the prison system afterwards. So I spent a lot of time in Glades Prison, and I looked and I saw quite a few things. I thought, well, you know, this would be, at the time I didn't realize what I'd be doing. So that when I started to write this book and I realized what I wanted to do, I had a good background, a frame of reference. You know, I know, you know, you can't watch a TV show and then say, oh, I'm going to write a book based on my experiences watching this TV show. I can do it, you know, prisons are not comfortable places, but they may not be what you see in some of the big prison movies or TV shows. So I tried to capture the feel of Glades. I made it, it's a fictional prison, Manatee.
Manatee Prison, great name for a prison, huh?
And the guards are annoyed that they want to work in a tough facility, but it's named Manatee, so they won't even call it by its name. And you know, we agents of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement do occasionally investigate deaths inside the prison, so it was a natural progression for Tasker to be assigned to a prison to investigate a death.
What about this character, Tasker? Because, you know, he's in law enforcement as you are. He's a special agent, right? He's a family man. Well, he's divorced. Like you, you're married, and you've got 2 children. I mean, there are some parallels there. He's burned out.
Very
I mean,
few.
I'm just saying, are there some parallels or not really?
Really not. He's, I wanted to make him, I read too many police books where the guy was trained by the CIA, where, you know, he can do, you know, backflips, he can twist guns out of people's hands. That's not a real cop's experience.
No.
He's a regular guy. He's not, you know, he's not super aggressive until he's pushed, you know, his back's against the wall. Then he has to do something. Then he will do whatever it takes. And I just wanted to get the experience of, it's not just police work. You have a life outside of police work, too. A lot of movies, a lot of books ignore that whole section of someone's life.
Or their lives are often very messed up, right? I mean,
they can be,
a lot of
and
yeah.
you know, he's divorced, and as a result of the job, I mean, he understands what caused it. And in each book, you know, he tries to wrestle with that. Maybe not in this book, but in previous books, even when he had a chance where his wife is willing to talk to him, and then all of a sudden the job gets in the way again, and she realizes he's not going to change.
Yeah. So there are some kind of messages in the book. Is the intent of your book to be more real and to really give people a feeling as to what it's like to be a cop, because you've been there and you're there yourself?
To a degree. I also, people ask me what the books are about. I like to think they're about karma. If you get what you deserve, if you treat people decently, he's a decent guy.
Sure.
Bad things may happen to him, but ultimately he's going to come out on top if he remains a good guy. He's got an ethical, a moral focus that he maintains no matter what's going on.
Yeah.
And he knows there's some things, in the second book, Shockwave, he's faced with a dilemma where they've arrested someone that he doesn't think is involved in the crime. You know, what do? Do you stay quiet and let it just run the court system? Or do you take aggressive action to prove or disprove your theory? My thought is you would have to prove or disprove your theory, or you couldn't live with yourself.
Sure. Right. So really, it's an important message. It's a great thriller. You tell a great story, and that's why you're becoming so successful. I can see that the way you write. I was so engrossed in the novel, you know, that I just couldn't put it down. But I like the message too, which is what you're saying, which is it's about, you know, you are good, you act good, you do good, and good comes back. That's important. Jim, it's great to have you finally on the show. I've heard a lot about you, and I'm just thrilled to get to meet you, and you'll have to come back when you've got your next book. Thanks for joining me. And we'll be right back with more of Art Street, so don't go away. We're now on location at the Log Cabin Nursery on Miami Beach to see how plants can create wonders in the lives of the developmentally disabled. Directly across the street from the ocean on Miami Beach is a place brimming with palms, perennials, and other native plants. But few people who drive by this island of greenery know that the Log Cabin Nursery nurtures more than just plants. It's the people who spend their days here that are the real recipients of loving attention.
The people, the clients. This is a place where the clients can work, spend their days, learn, and we also employ them so they get a certain amount of money, which is really the only spending money that they get. To me, this is a special place. It's like an oasis in the middle of the city, And to be able, for them to be able to spend their days out here learning and working.
For over 25 years, the Log Cabin has served as a plant nursery and vocational training program for developmentally disabled adults. Log Cabin recently partnered with Sunrise nonprofit group, whose mission is to provide people with disabilities the assistance and support necessary to enable them to live valued lives in the community. Gladstone Phillips is the nursery director who helped create this program back in 1975.
During that time when there was a recreational program, we were paying the students with tokens. And it was rewarding, but now after start working and they're actually getting a paycheck, I mean, their eyes was just lit up and they just got so much more out of it. They become much more involved. They become very proud of what they grew, because we have a small propagation area which they grow their own plants. So about maybe right now about 20% of what we sell here is grown by them. So it gives them a good sense of accomplishment once they see it's something that they plant and actually somebody's bought it, taken it home. So it's all a good thing.
Sunrise Administrator Kathleen Childs is very pleased with the partnership between Sunrise and Log Cabin, and she has some new ideas for this unique program.
The wonderful thing that we really love about this program is, of course, the beautiful grounds, the opportunity for so many other experiences and exposure right on the beach, right on A1A. We look forward to expanding into some food service, we would hope, or some selling of flowers, and giving our opportunities, new opportunities for the individuals that we support. That's the greatest thing, and exposure to not only developmental disabilities, but Sunrise community, and that it's a great opportunity for us.
It's Bernard Edelstein who sums up what Log Cabin Nursery is really about.
I see the clients, I see them having a purpose in life, I see them working, learning, and to me, it's, one of the important things in civilization is helping those that can't take care of themselves. We who can take care of ourselves, we do. But I think in a lot of civilizations, those that can't just go by the wayside, and I think it's very nice that we support those that can't take care of themselves.
For more information about Log Cabin Nursery on Miami Beach, call 305-993-2008.